This week we will be taking a closer look at Shay. She is one of the non-releasable squirrels we have here at Carmela's Sanctuary of Squirrels. My name is Suzanne. Join me as we take a look at Shay and why she needed to be brought inside for treatment. You may have already noticed that Shay's right eye isn't open all the way, and the tissue around her eye appears to be a bit swollen and scaly. When I noticed this, we decided to bring her inside to determine the cause. Since she lives in the large squirrelio behind the house, catching her isn't the easiest thing to do. However, just a few days ago, I noticed that she appeared to be having balance issues and was unable to stand up straight. This set loud warning bells off in my head. I knew I definitely needed to bring her inside for treatment. I was actually able to catch her fairly easily with the net because of her balance issues. Once inside, I examined her closely to try to determine the cause of her multiple issues. I discovered many dry, scaly patches on her skin, but it wasn't the typical scaliness of sarcoptic mange mites. As I was combing her, I found a puncture wound on her back. Now this had me puzzled because no predators can get to her inside the squirrelio. I had to trim the fur away from the wound using scissors with a curved blade so I wouldn't nick her skin in the process. As I trimmed the fur, I noticed 4 scabs in a fan around the upper edge of the wound. The scab at the right of it actually was long and led to the puncture wound. Because of this, I determined that the wound had been self-inflicted when she was scratching her back with her hind leg. She definitely had some type of mite, even if it wasn't mange. In addition to the mites, I suspected an inner ear infection. She would need to be treated with antiparasitic medications along with an antibiotic. This meant she would need to be kept in the squirrel room for the duration of her treatment. I applied Manuka raw honey to the wound and Vetericin Plus to the scabs around it. Then I prepared her medications, 2 for the parasites plus the antibiotic. She will be given meds daily for at least 2 weeks. The meds must taste pretty good because I rarely have trouble giving them to the squirrels. I use 1 cc syringes and metal tips to administer the meds. The tips prevent the squirrel from biting through the syringe. In this clip, you can see the extent of the wound. It's not very big, but it's enough. And in this part, you can see the difference between the size of her eyes from one side to the other. All of the cages in the squirrel room were already occupied. This meant rearranging things a bit to make room for another cage. I had Ed bring in one from the patio, set it up with a basket with blankets to use as a nest, plus food and water. After medicating her, I placed her into the basket. It didn't take long for her to decide to explore the cage. I kept an eye on her as she settled in. Watching her slowly circle around, I decided to place the nesting basket on its side for easier access. Although she's not used to being handled, she's been very easy to care for so far and takes her meds with no trouble. Hopefully she will start feeling better soon.